Hey, 365 Pro Wrestling Nation, it's Manda here. Today we have our 96th podcast. And if you haven't guessed it already with my color scheme, we have on today the Phoenix Nolan Pink. Thank you so much for being on today with us and the whole 365 Pro Wrestling Nation.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's fun to be here. It's been a long time since I've done anything wrestling related, so I'm with you on the pink color scheme. So I'm ready to get started.
Awesome. I thought it'd be fitting, wear the pink for Nolan. So how have you been with not having any wrestling going on lately? Like we said,
it's been kind of weird because for the past 4 or 5 years, it's been like an every weekend, every week kind of thing that I've been doing. So to take this long of a break from it's been weird. It's something that I haven't done in a really long time. I'm excited to get back into it. So it's cool for this to be the first thing that's wrestling related that I've done in a while.
Awesome. Good. Well, I'm glad that you can get your face out there. Yeah. I'm sure people have been missing that. So, promote you.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually one thing that I really need to do is get on the t-shirts and a lot kind of promoting game. It's something that, people have been telling me for a really long time. And it's something that I tried to do a while ago and then they messed up the spelling of my name on it. So then those shirts went away and I got to get on that.
Yeah. How do they mess up your name? It seems so easy though.
They put the E before the O because it's PHOE. So I did Phoenix and then they did PHEO rather than the OE. And,
those spelling mistakes.
I know, right? I know.
So, where did you train? Who were you trained by and stuff?
So I trained at the CWF Wrestling School. It's in St. Catharines here. I trained, so Chris Thorne first, got me running the ropes and that kind of stuff. Then Easy Eric Kearney, he's one of the main guys who trained me as well. Him and Frank had a huge influence on it. A couple other guys who helped out at the training all the time be Rex Atkins, Reckless Ryan Swift, even Jesse Bieber too. All guys who have had huge influences on me with training and learning the basics and that kind of stuff and helping develop moves and character and all that kind of stuff. And for me, crash pads for testing all my high flying stuff.
Yeah. Some of those high flying moves that you do are they're quite amazing to see. Yeah. You're good at them. Seems that you practice really hard in your training and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It was one of the things that really caught my eye when I started watching wrestling when I was younger. So that was the kind of stuff that I wanted to make sure that I was doing when I started wrestling. And so those guys really helped me learn to do it and perfect it.
Yeah. So do you have any wrestlers that kind of influenced you you said you watched them when you were younger. Who would influence you?
So back when I started watching wrestling, Jeff Hardy was the number one. That's why I started doing the Swanton Bomb. He's, one of my idols. All the ladder jumps he would do and the Whisper in the Wind and that kind of stuff was huge for me back then. Rey Mysterio was a guy who I really liked to watch. I'm not really the tallest guy or the biggest guy or anything like that. So he was cool to see as one of the smaller guys working the bigger guys and doing the high flying stuff. Nowadays, probably Ricochet is a huge one for me. Matt Sydal too. I love the shooting star press that he does. It's a move that I've never been able to learn how to do. It's one I wish I could do, but I just can't get my mind over the mental aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, it takes a lot of guts to get up there and do your move and have all eyes on you, right?
For sure.
So did you feel like training came naturally to you, or was there some things that were more difficult in your training, other than the high flying moves?
There was definitely a lot of stuff that came a little bit more easier to me. I did amateur wrestling in high school, so a lot of the chain wrestling and the basic stuff like that was stuff that I already knew how to do. And I've done sports my entire life, so the athletic part of it was good, but some of the taking my first bump was hard, trying to get the the form right and make it sound good and look good and everything like that. I'd practice that for hours. I had to do the old hold on to the middle rope thing and then lean back to the sky and then fall and try to do it that way. That was probably the hardest part, was trying to make yourself fall properly, right?
Yeah. Because you don't know how, when you land, you're going to land on the other guy, right? Because sometimes they're positioned differently. So you got to really master on how you're landing.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely like an art for sure.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, I feel that. So was there anything during training that you did that kind of surprised you, that you were like naturally good at, and you're like, whoa, like that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be?
It go back to, the high flying stuff. I wasn't sure how hard it would be or anything like that, because I've done stuff on a trampoline and a diving board and stuff, but it's completely different when you're sitting on a rope that's like a couple centimeters thick. The springboards, actually, I thought that came a little easier. I thought it was going to be super difficult, but it's just a whole lot of like just telling yourself that you can do it, and it's a lot easier than it seems. That the 450 splash that I used to do, bust out a lot, that I'd say it came easier than I expected it to. I remember the first time I did it at training, Easy was pretty pissed off with me because he'd been trying to do it for a long time. And I did it like one of my first attempts at it, and he was not too thrilled about it.
Yeah. And those ropes are really slippery too, right? So you got to really watch the footing on those ropes.
Yeah, for sure. I've had a couple slips.
Yeah. But you probably recovered, right, and learned from it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I feel like you need to have those kind of things, because if you don't slip and everything just goes perfectly, you're going to be waiting for that moment for yourself to screw up, and it's going to happen eventually. So you just got to let it happen and get it over with. One time at training, I broke my collarbone. Actually, it was right before I was supposed to make my original PWA debut. It was right at the end of the training. We were just screwing around, and I was on the middle rope, and all I did was jump off, land on my feet into a judo roll. And as I went into the judo roll, I just crashed, and I landed on my shoulder, and I broke my collarbone. And I knew right away that it was bad. I heard the crack, I felt it, and it was just like pointing upwards. And
that sucks.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. I haven't broken a bone, knock on wood. Yeah. So I couldn't imagine what it feels like. But yeah, ow, that would hurt a lot.
It's not
did
a fun
you finish
thing.
The match, or did you?
Oh, it was at training. We weren't doing anything really. We were just like joking around in the ring, and I just did a normal jump into a somersault. And when I did the somersault, I crashed down on my shoulder and it popped my collarbone.
Oh, ow, that sucks so much. Were you out for a bit because of that then?
Yeah, it was supposed to be 6 weeks, but there was a match that I really wanted to do, and so I went behind. Like the doctor hadn't cleared me yet, but I had taken a couple bumps, and I felt like I could do the most part of it, and it was like a Royal Rumble fit spot. So I was just like getting eliminated at the end of the match, so I felt I could do that. So I came back after like 4.5 weeks for it, but yeah, it was out for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, you pushed it, I think. But all right, well, going to your training and stuff, you said, like Easy and all those people trained you and stuff, and Easy is being a student, like Eddie's student, and then later Eddie trained Nolan James. So in a way, it's kind of like a family tree, and like the wrestling and everything, where like Eddie's kind of like the grandpa, and like Nolan's like the uncle, and Easy's just kind of like that weird cousin or whatever,
Yeah, it's crazy, like all the connections that we have and everything. Like when I wrestled Eddie for the first time a couple of years ago, that was one of the main things for me going through my head before the match was that it was like coming full circle. The guy who trained my trainer, I was getting to wrestle, so I was learning all the the tricks like one-on-one with him, like in the middle of the ring, like on the fly kind of thing. And then wrestling,
well, I found that's the best experience sometimes, right, in the ring.
Absolutely. Yeah, wrestling Nolan though was fun. We did that at a show up in Varney for like motocross racing and everything, and I took the elite championship from him. That was the time that I wrestled him, but that was cool too. Like you said, it's Eddie's student versus Eric's student, and we both have the same first name too, and so it was cool getting to wrestle him and talk to him and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah. So it's obviously been a very very inspiring experience.
Oh, definitely.
With all being able to have so many different moments and memories with everybody. Oh, that's so much.
Yeah, that was a fun one. A good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah,
Who were
I
you
enjoyed that one a
facing there?
lot. That was me versus Giselle Shaw at the Battle of the Sexes event a couple years ago in Guelph, and we came out, and it was a fun match. I remember, the first time I hit her with a drop kick, right, like right in the beginning of the match, the crowd just kind of like stunned for a second because they weren't sure like what was going to go on or anything. And
Yeah.
I remember one of the final spots of it, she hit me with like Tajiri's like buzzsaw kick, and just knocked the lights out of me for a second there. The crowd, like, they were stunned when I kicked out of that one. And I took a Canadian Destroyer for the first time in that match too. It was some move that I never like tried in training or practiced or anything. And we did that, and everything went good. And I finished with the Brainbuster, and I got the win. It was nice.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you can't underestimate women.
No, definitely. No, she took me to my limits for sure.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. So you're okay with like the whole, wrestling with women and stuff like that? Because I know that there's sometimes I don't know how you put it. There's some people out there that they're not cool with it, right? But some people are like, whatever. It's cool to see because most of the time the girl kicks the shit out of the man. So
exactly, right. No, it's something that's completely cool with me. Like women are equal to men, and so it's cool. Like when they go at each other like that, you can see I can take her to her limits, she can take me to my limits. It very back and forth kind of thing. I wrestled, I've wrestled her, I wrestled Bia. I've had fun matches with both of them. Like it's definitely something that I would do again. It's not something that like I have any like feelings of like not wanting to do it or anything.
Yeah. I completely get that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. I guess it kind of helps broaden your mind too on the wrestling field, kind of opens up some other doors for you too.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
So, yeah, awesome. So, also, I heard that when you first came in, you were training with Clay Wilson.
Yeah, Clay's always been like one of my best friends in wrestling. We've been with each other for we started like I did my first wrestling match on one of like the student shows that we were running at CWF, and he was in the audience for it. And then the next week at training, he joined up, and then we started going at it from there. And so ever since that day, we've kind of been like together on shows, on setting up rings, car rides and that kind of stuff. So he's he lives like pretty much right by me. So we hang out outside of wrestling sometimes. I saw him right before he went to BC for the first time to do the shows for 365 over there. He's a great guy. I can't say enough good things about Clay Wilson.
So how did you feel kind of competing almost against him to get a spot, like a mainstay on like 365? Like how was that experience? Like being so close with him as a friend, but being like, you know what, I want to get on here more, than you.
Obviously, like there's that aspect of it, right? Like we've had so many matches, like PWA, 365, NWX, CWF, all over. I feel like I've wrestled him, and I know we're like competing for the spot and stuff like that, but I don't like when he's on a show or we're wrestling or something like that, like I don't feel bad or if like he gets a spot more than me, because like I'm happy to see him like do his kind of stuff, One of the cool things with PWA is that him and I got to tag team up a bunch of times. We called ourselves Ground Zero because he liked to do a lot of like the mat wrestling and stuff, and he would keep them on the ground, and I would do a lot of the high flying stuff, so like the zero gravity kind of things. We call ourselves Ground Zero for that.
That's cool. That's super cool. I like that name. It works.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think I came up with that. I'll take the credit for that one.
Well, Clay's not here, so we'll
exactly. It's my word, right?
So, for somebody, that really hasn't watched you in the ring, how would you describe yourself as a wrestler? If somebody, would be coming and wondering.
I think I'd describe myself like, as you've seen from like the clips, I like to do a lot of high flying moves, that kind of stuff. I always put my body on the line. I always like to, go 110%, no matter if there's like, 15 people in the crowd or, 200 people in the crowd. I'm going to be doing dives. I'm going to be throwing my body around to try to pick the win. I do a lot of like strikes and that kind of stuff. I like to utilize my knees and super kicks and drop kicks. and all that kind of stuff. I molded my style a little bit after, like Ricochet. He was like a huge guy for me, so I try to wrestle like him, and AJ Styles too. I guess if I had put a couple people together, and gear wise, I've Finn Balor. I love his gear, so I try to like emphasize a lot of that.
Yeah. I've been watching Ricochet for quite some time. Like I've watched him since he started in like Lucha. Like I don't know if you've ever watched Lucha Underground.
Lucha Underground with him as Prince Puma. Yeah,
yeah. And then he went over to like WCPW and stuff like that, and then he ended up, in WWE. So I've been watching him for quite some time. So I could see, like like his style of high flying is very eye catching, right? So it'd be something, it'd be somebody to follow. So, and AJ Styles, he's just the phenomenal one. So
exactly, right. No, I've definitely taken some inspiration from both of them for, movesets and high flying, all that.
Yeah, definitely. So I know that your last match in 365 was at the Registry Theater in Kitchener.
Yeah.
It was against Sebastian Suave, representing the Pillars. And like we've said, you haven't been really back in the ring much since for 365. So like, do you have anything, maybe goals that you want to maybe aspire to when you get back into the ring for 365?
Yeah, absolutely. When I come back, the first thing is I want to establish myself. I want to go out there. I want to try to put on the best match of the night. I want to get the crowd invested in it. I want them to when they hear my music hit, I want them to know who's coming, and that they're about to for the next 15 minutes, they're going to be on the edge of their seat kind of thing. Definitely the 365 championship is like, definitely on the radar. It's something that like I want to be going after. But I think first things first is I just have to come back, and I want to establish myself as one of the top guys.
Yeah. Well, right now the championship is over in BC. So, I've been talking to quite a few people in there trying to get it back over in Ontario for everybody here. So you never know, maybe in the future.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be more of that, cross province traveling and stuff going on. They'll be bringing it over here. I know Judas has come over a couple times with it.
Yeah, definitely. So, and you were saying your song. What's your song? I can't put my finger on it. What's the name of it?
So my theme song, it's called Rise, and it's by I Prevail. It's got like a nice, like guitar and like intro to it. And then, when the beat drops, like that's when I let it come out, and it, I think it kicks ass. I love it.
Yeah. So like, what kind of made you choose that song? There's so many songs to pick from. So like, what kind of like made you choose that one over anything else?
I went back and forth on a couple of different songs. When I first started, there was a few different ones that I was coming out to the ring with. Bring Me the Horizon had a song called Happy Song. That was my first ever theme song. And then I always liked I Prevail back when like they first did a cover of Taylor Swift's Blank Space. That was the first time that I listened to them. And they released a new album, and so I was listening to that, and I saw a song on there called Rise, and so I call myself the Phoenix, and the Phoenix always rises from the ashes, right? Like it's always like born again kind of thing. So when the song was called Rise, like it immediately caught my eye, and I wanted to check it out. And then as soon as I heard it, it was upbeat. It had some guitar, it had some drums going in there, and it got me pumped right away as soon as I listened to it. And every single time I hear it before I go out through the curtain for my entrance, it gets me in the mood. It gets me pumped up.
Yeah. And that's what matters, right? You need to enjoy it. You need to be getting going, but you also need to have the fans. And I feel like it's such a upbeat song that you're like, you can get into it. So it helps.
Definitely.
It helps.
Yeah. I like whenever I'm doing my entrance, and whenever like I get in the ring and I'm on the ropes and stuff like that, I won't like when the song's still playing, like I'm singing along to it, like it just gets me going and like wants me to do the match, and like it gets me pumped up.
Hyped. Just hyped.
Yeah, for sure.
So would you say it's like one of your top 3 songs on your iPad or however you listen to music?
It's definitely one of like the top songs that I'm streaming. Any stuff by them, like some of their new stuff. All Time Low is like my favorite band of all time. So their new song with Black Bear, Monsters, like I've listened to that millions of times. And MGK to like some of his new stuff, like A Ticket to My Downfall. I think the album is the new one. All of those songs are just replayed and replayed.
Yeah, yeah. I used to listen to a lot of older MGK, like when he first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too much of his newer stuff, but yeah. So
yeah, he's got some stuff with Black Bear and Halsey on there that I've listened to, and
yeah, Black Bear's good. I like him. He's good. Yeah. So he has a couple of songs on my iPad. So
yeah, oh, perfect. He's good. I enjoy his music.
Yeah. So it's all good. So getting back into like wrestling and stuff like that. Do you have we'll say five. Do you have 5 guys in 365 that you'd like to maybe wrestle when you come back?
Yeah, absolutely. Right at the top of the list, my trainer Eric, I've never wrestled him one-on-one in 365, so I think it's something that I want to do. I want to like be able to show the fans of 365 what him and I can do, because we've had great matches for NWX and CWF, and so I would love to do that all over again with him. Kobe Durst, I've wrestled him, I don't know, probably 5 times, and every single time I wrestle him, it's always so much fun. I feel like we know what the other's thinking. He's such an easy guy to wrestle, and it's so competitive, so stiff in the ring with him, and it's I can't, it's so much fun. I've always wanted to wrestle Judas. I've watched some of his matches. I've every single time he's come to Ontario, I've seen him wrestle Josh Alexander. I've seen him wrestle Eric when he was in BC. I saw him wrestle Brody King at the Registry Theater in Kitchener. Yeah, he's just a guy that
was a crazy match.
Yeah, insane. Yeah, he's one of the guys for me that, like, for 365 and for PWA, that every single time he's here, I like to talk to him and love to wrestle him one day. So I think that's 3. Clay Wilson, we've talked about it before. He's so much fun in the ring. He knows how to get the crowd to hate him, and it's easy to be the baby face against him, because the crowd's always booing him. He's taunting him, and whenever we can bring Josh Alexander back again, I love to wrestle Josh Alexander again. I got to wrestle him twice. The first time in Guelph was, I'd say, one of the times I really got to put my name on the map for PWA, and I'd love to go toe-to-toe with him again, once I can start building up some momentum and put my face back out there.
Yeah. Well, those are some great picks. I think they would all be great matches in their own way, like they would all have different aspects to them, like with Clay Wilson, you'd be having that, you said the heel baby face kind of thing, and Judas Icarus, I think it would be a very fast, high flying, and Josh Alexander would be kind of cool to see, because like you said, he's kind of like the star that people come to see, because he's on TV and stuff.
Yeah,
Kobe
for sure.
Durst,
he's definitely.
I've seen him do a couple matches. He's quite the, I guess, artist. We'll bring it back to that. He's quite the artist in the ring. Yeah. So, and your first one was
Easy-E, Eric.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see again, because like you said, he trained you, right? So, and for him to see how far you've kind of come too, that'd be good.
Yeah, Josh definitely. And Kobe, they're 2 of the top guys in Canada. So I feel like, when I'm wrestling either one of them, I feel like I'm going up against, some of the best that Canada has to offer. So it's something that, like, I can use to, measure myself against and see where I'm at and kind of thing. And also just show everybody that, I can go to, kind of thing.
Yeah. That makes sense. So I like it. I like the picks. They're good picks.
Thank you.
Okay. So I heard from a little birdie that you're a gamer.
I play a little bit.
You PC, Xbox, PlayStation?
Yeah, I'm a PlayStation guy through and through. I've had, my first console was a PS1, and I don't have the PlayStation 5 yet, but I've never gone PC. I've never gone Xbox or anything. I've been, PlayStation ever since I was like 4 years old.
Yeah, I'm a gamer too. I've had, like, I started off with an N64, you know, had that for a really long time, and then switched to a PS2 and an Xbox 360, but PS3, and now I'm on a PS4. So
yeah, we're in the
I'm a
same
huge
boat there. What kind of games are you playing?
I play a whole bunch. I play Call of Duty. I play a lot of Lego games.
Okay, yeah, those are so much fun.
They are a lot of fun. I don't care what people say.
No,
They're good.
Those are the kind of games you want to play, because like when you have people over and stuff, like there's so much like online stuff to it that like I feel like something that hasn't been like so much focus on is like, couch co-op kind of thing. So like, where you can have like some buddies over and you can all just like play together and kind of thing. And like what it used to be.
I play a lot of Mortal Kombat too. Like that's a good game to play with other people, Mortal Kombat. So that's good. But I think my all-time favorite game, I've been playing it for years upon years, like since it came out, actually. It's called No Man's Sky. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before.
Yeah,
it's
I've
like
heard
you're
of
like
it.
an astronaut, and like you go in like a rocket ship to like different planets and explore different planets, and like you have to craft things and stuff. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. I haven't tried it myself, but you sold me on it right there. Like all that kind of stuff, like just jumps right out. I like the creative aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got like spaceships coming and like shooting you and stuff. It's cool. It's a good game. It's a really good game.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. It came out, I think it was like 2017, so it shouldn't be hard to find. It'll be around.
Yeah, perfect. Let's check the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, you could just always find it there. So yeah, I've been wanting to play. Nobody knows this game, but it's like a runoff of when I used to play younger. It was like Banjo-Kazooie on like N64, but it's like ukulele. I don't know. You know that?
Nah, I haven't heard of that one.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. But anyways, do you think like being like a gamer, would you ever like incorporate that maybe like into like your wrestling and stuff? Like maybe like have like kind of like a gamer gimmick or something? I don't know. Would you ever do that?
I don't know if it would be something that I would like use as like the main gimmick or anything like that. It's definitely like, I don't know. It's something that like I would, take some stuff from like video games that like I've played or stuff like that, like some characters and stuff, and try to like incorporate that into like the gimmick kind of thing. Or like, how some moves like use like a lot of like wrestlers or stuff like that for like mocapping their stuff. Like even the Spider-Man game, like I played when it came out, there's so many like, wrestling moves like in there, so that, you can take influences from that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because like you're a very high flyer, right? So like you could incorporate some of like Spider-Man's moves or whatever into your thing. That'd be kind of cool. It'd be different, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes, some people think wrestlers are like superheroes, right? The things they do, how they take bumps and like they can just get right back up, and it's crazy.
And like the feats of strength and everything like that too. Going back like a while, like a long time ago, when I was watching like WWE, I remember seeing John Cena pick up the Big Show and give him the attitude adjustment. And that was crazy to me, because I was young watching that, and Big Show is huge, and John Cena picked him up. You could see the struggle and stuff. So for real, like they're growing up watching it, like it's like they're superheroes.
Yeah, exactly. Or like when was it Big Show and Brock Lesnar, they broke the ring, like the ring collapsed or something. Like that's crazy. Like the strength of like them to be able to just do that suplex off the corner there and just break the whole ring. The ref like flew out of the ring. Like that's the craziest thing. So
yeah, absolutely. It's something that you're not expecting or anything like that. And whenever wrestling can it's so unexpected all the time. Like when it really catches you off guard, that's when it's the best. It's it's awesome.
Yeah. Have you ever done like a crazy move and like caught people like off guard or whatever, and the fans were like, "Whoa"?
Yeah, one of my first matches at PWA for in Guelph, I was wrestling. It was me and Clay on a team against Brandon Jacobs and Andrew Davis. Yeah, Andrew Davis. And the roof is so low there at the Red Chevron, right? And I climbed the top rope, and I was about to do the 450 splash, and the crowd started chanting like, watch the roof," because like I was literally like, my hand was like this, and it was touching it, and I was on the top rope. And I did the 450 there, and I had a ton of momentum on it, and I hit him perfectly with it, and the crowd lost their mind when I hit it. And I got I got the 3 count on it. So that was one of like my favorite moments.
Yeah, that would be a crazy moment, because you're like, holy shit, how did I just do that?
Yeah, like I'm sitting on the top rope, and like I'm kind of hunched over a little bit, because like I'm literally like just about to touch the roof. So I'm like, oh, well, here goes nothing.
Yeah. Well, you did it. It was successful, right?
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah. Have you ever like done something where like you kind of like screwed up really bad, and you're just like, oh shit, like you don't know how to recover from it, kind of?
I was wrestling. I think it was a triple threat match. It was me, Clay Wilson, and Andre Almacidia in NWX in St. Catharines here. And I did a frog splash off the top rope, because Clay had a submission move on Andre, so I was trying to break it up. So I did a frog splash for the first time.
Yep.
And I don't know, I didn't let go of my knees or something like that, and I came down hard on my left knee, and I blew my knee out. And then it was hard recovering from that. Like I was still able to finish the match and everything, but I was not moving the next day. I could not get out of bed.
Oh shit, that sucks. That sucks so much. So how long were you out for that one? Like,
I didn't miss any matches or anything, but I was supposed to go to a seminar the next day, and I couldn't go to the seminar because I couldn't walk.
Yeah. But you guys are superheroes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So, also, I heard that like you go on a lot of vacations and stuff. Do you have any like favorite spots that maybe you've gone?
So I went to, right before the world shut down last year, I went to Mexico. That was why I wasn't on the last 365 show. I had the vacation booked. That was probably one of my favorite vacations. It was, we went to Costa Mujeres there, and then we traveled to Isla while we were there. And the food was great. The weather was awesome. I like to kind of go to like the more tropical locations rather than I would love to go like and explore the world and stuff like that, but there's nothing beats sitting on a beach drinking, or like going up to a smoke bar and just sitting there and enjoying the hot sun. Right. That's probably my favorite place that I've been.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been. I went to Cuba, but that's about as far tropical as I've really been.
I went to Cuba when I was I don't know, I can't remember. I was in grade 9, so I would have been like maybe like 14 or something like that. I don't know. It rained every single day I was there. Every single day.
Yeah.
That was my first vacation. No.
That sucks. Do you want to like go maybe over to like Europe and stuff like that at all? Or like maybe like I know there's a lot of wrestling over in Europe and stuff, or like maybe even down in Mexico. Would you ever want to do like wrestling or traveling for wrestling and stuff in maybe those countries at all?
Absolutely. Like I would love to do that kind of stuff. Right now, the only place that I've wrestled has been Ontario, and I would love to, broaden my horizons and go learn other styles. And, like you mentioned, Europe with like UK and everything like that, they've got tons of great wrestling over there. And there's, such a great indie scene and everything that I'd love to check out. And Mexico too, with like all the luchador style and, the high flying and stuff that happens over there. It'd be great to try to pick their brains and learn from them, too.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure you could learn a lot of different high flying moves down in the Mexico for luchas.
Oh, for sure.
So, kind of our last question, it kind of incorporates, what we were just talking about and stuff. If anybody wants to, get a hold of you for maybe some 2021, if we ever have any outdoor event, cross your fingers. Hopefully it happens safely. If anybody kind of, wants to get a hold of you, how would they look for you online?
So I'm on Instagram at npink_97. That's like my main form of communication. Like if you want to reach me or like, get a hold of me, like I'm right there. I'm on Twitter too at Phoenix450. Twitter is not exactly like something that I keep up on. It's never been something that I've been great at like going up on and like, that kind of stuff. But Instagram for sure is the main way to find me, and where you can find out what shows I'm going to be on, or, you know, if there are shows in 2021, like you said, yeah, Instagram, npink_97.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for being on with myself and all the 365 Pro Wrestling Nation. I hope to have you on because, you know, I feel like we just kind of touched a little bit of your pro wrestling career in 365, but we'll have you on again and we'll be able to chat some more.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been fun. You know, I really enjoy this, like venturing back into the wrestling world a little bit. You know, with, you know, Ontario, like opening up a little bit more, like, you know, training is, you know, right around the corner. So I can't wait to go back to that and get back in a ring and start taking some bumps again.
Yeah, you and I'm sure so many others out there. You know I want to get into it again. So we can't wait. But thank you very much for being on. I really appreciate it.
It's been fun.
Fun.
Oh, me too. Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.